8 years after the release of God of War 3, Kratos returns in a brand new game set in Norse mythology. What do we know about its setting, story, characters, and gameplay? Sit back, relax, and enjoy GameGround's everything you should know about the new God of War. First off, many people think of this as a reboot, but that's not really the case. Sure, the gameplay has been reimagined, but Kratos is still the same character. He is still the same guy from the original games. This has been made clear by his ability to deploy Spartan Rage, as well as by Sony specifically confirming it's him. One of the many things that did not stay the same in the game, however, is the camera, which changed dramatically from the previous titles. While they relied heavily on a fixed perspective that shifted with every new room or scene, this time around the game features a modern, dynamic, and a much more intimate camera. The player's viewpoint is zoomed in closer behind Kratos, similar to games like Tomb Raider, The Last of Us, or Horizon Zero Dawn. The Norse setting will let us explore a different set of creatures, including trolls, ogres, draugr, and even dragons. But contrary to popular belief, there'll be no Vikings in the game, since it is set well before the Viking era. As Cory Barlog, the game's director who also directed God of War 2, explained, "A lot of people think Norse, they think Viking. But there's really this amazing prehistory, the migration, and then prior to that, the pre-migration era. In the Viking era, they always talked about the gods have abandoned us. Thor and Loki and Odin all walked the earth at one point, but they're not around anymore. The Vikings fight for them, but they're not there. The new game is set at a prehistory point where gods did walk the earth, when monsters were real, before they became extinct." Barlog also said that different mythologies coexisted, but they were separated by geography, suggesting that Kratos did actually travel from Greece to Scandinavia after the conclusion of God of War 3. We don't know how much time has passed since the ending of the original trilogy though, and it's possible we'll never find out. According to Aaron Kaufman, the marketing producer of the title, it's an indefinite amount of time between the end of God of War 3 and the beginning of the new game.
What are you doing? Now its guard is up. Only fire. Only fire. When I tell you to fire.
I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
As I've mentioned, Kratos is still the same guy from previous titles. He's still a very angry human, but he's trying to change his ways, and he blames his rage for all his past misfortunes. According to Barlog, what's changed is that Kratos now has realized that not everything he has done in the past has worked. His vengeance and blaming of others and saying other people did this to me, now he has realized that it's not gonna change him, so he needs to change himself. Of course, the biggest change in terms of Kratos is that he's a father now, or better said, he's a father again.
Yes, sir.
Then show me what you know.
Kratos' son is named Atreus. While we may not know a whole lot about his origins, we definitely know how he functions in the game. When accompanying Kratos, he can fight alongside his dad, with the player controlling Kratos and calling on his son for help. When you hit the square button, which is dedicated to the son throughout the game, Atreus can for example jump on enemies' back or start firing arrows, and then you as Kratos can throw the axe. In addition, Atreus will have his own skill tree, therefore his abilities can be upgraded. And also he can be used in non-combat ways. He can solve puzzles and translate runes. Since Kratos does not speak the regional dialect, his son becomes indispensable when it comes to reading text and conversing with the locals. Anytime you have a writing on the wall, Atreus will be the one reading it. From a story perspective, Atreus is the humanity that Kratos lost. He's helping Kratos understand what it was like to be human. The kid is the one always saying, look, not everyone's a bad person, we have to be open to this. The giant world serpent in the gameplay trailer, for instance, would normally be a huge boss fight in other God of War games, but Atreus tries to convince Kratos that the serpent wants to help them in this next chapter in the series.
What does it say?
He wants to help us!
There will be a less linear feel to this game. It won't be an open world sandbox, but exploration will be encouraged. You can expect extensive but still kind of linear environments, similar to games like Tomb Raider or Uncharted 4. As far as weapons are concerned, the axe plays an important role in this game. It's almost as if it was a character on its own. It is a piece of history that directly connects to Kratos and Atreus, and it connects to the rest of the world as well. This history hasn't been revealed yet, but it will be told throughout the game. Though the last God of War game, 2013's God of War Ascension, featured a competitive multiplayer mode, with the PS4 God of War, Sony Santa Monica chose to focus its efforts on producing a polished single-player experience. So far it looks like there will be no online component to this game whatsoever. Multiplayer maybe wasn't a very discussed part of the God of War games, but that cannot be said about the infamous sex sequences. Unfortunately and understandably, it's been confirmed that they will not be returning this time around, so don't hold your breath for any Nordic women hanging out in bathtubs in this title. Another sexy fact told to Kotaku is that along with animal fur moving in real time with the environment, so will Kratos' beard. God bless PlayStation 4. Cory Barlog has teased that at some points of the game, up to 100 enemies will appear on screen simultaneously. And speaking of what will appear on the screen, there are no camera cuts in the game. That's right, the entire title will be presented as a single, uninterrupted shot with no cuts, loading screens or cinematics. There won't even be a situation where the camera cuts away to show you what someone else is doing. This is completely unprecedented in today's video games, but we can already get some idea of how it will work from 2016's E3 gameplay of the game. So that's about it for what we know about the reimagining of God of War. There is a new dynamic camera, but there will be no Vikings, no sex sequences and no camera cuts in the game. We play as the same Kratos we know from the old games, but he's a father now. His son Atreus fights along his dad and also translates Norse texts and conversations.
Wow, that was something, that fight.
God of War is not a reboot, but a sequel with reimagined gameplay in a new setting. It is coming to PlayStation 4 and PS4 Pro in early 2018. Are you excited about the game? What did you think of this video? Share your thoughts below and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you all for watching. This has been GameGround. See you around.